What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. It's been a little while since I made a popular video on what to do with old cell phones. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some awesome ideas of what you can do with your old Apple or Android smartphone. There's definitely a lot of power to be harnessed in these units, a lot of fun things to do that might actually save you money. So let's take a look. And also, I'll let you know how viable all of these things actually are.
Ladies and gentlemen, offline GPS. That's right, friends. Most of your old cell phones actually have a GPS unit in it that will always be able to tell you the latitude and longitude and area from sea level, but the issue is that your phone does not have the maps. The maps can be copywritten. So what you need to do is get yourself an offline GPS map collection. There's multiple ways of doing that for all your devices. You might have to check it out for your own particular devices, but let me show you my favorite apps for Android and for Apple, and of course for BlackBerry because BlackBerry supports Android apps. Anyways, here we go. Let's kick it off with Here We Go for Android and iOS. So Here We Go is definitely my preferred offline GPS. I've tried them all, I use them all, but this is the one that I use all the time. It always works for me. Android or Apple. I'm pretty sure that this is actually on Windows machines too. But check this one out. If you're the driver, I would recommend this. However, if you're the navigator, I would recommend Osmond GPS because it gives you a lot more information about the land. Like you see up to the left, that's a park. Osmond will give you so much more topographical park and water formation, creek information, type of stuff that nobody needs. Anyways, let's check that out next. Up. Let's take a look at this more advanced app, Osmond. This thing is excellent if you are the type of person that's a navigator, but maybe not the perfect thing if you're a driver. Or you know what, maybe even if you go on trails, there's particularly GPS for particular trails, but look at all this information it gives you. All kinds of topographical stuff, all kinds of pertinent information about where all the parks are, and not just parks that you can sit and visit and hang out with your children. This will give you wetlands too and all of that fun stuff. Any little creek that comes through, I'm really surprised that they give you information on that. What can I say? So there's a paid version and there's a free version. This is the free version. And just farting around a little bit here, you can see all the little creeks and all the little information it gives you, all the building information. And if you're the type of person that actually matters and you can have time to recognize this stuff and use that stuff, I would definitely recommend Osmond. Of course, there are other offline GPSs that you can get, like Nav Free. I used to love Nav Free. I use it all the time. You know, look at this. This is everything you need. It's great. This does everything I need it to. Once again, I used to use this one all the time. Not so much anymore. Nav Me. I used to use this also. It's a little bit creepy. It looks great from here, and if you're just driving, it's great. But it actually shows you the physical location of some other users. It doesn't tell you their names, but still, it's creepy to watch them run around. For any of these maps that you're using, any of these GPS apps you're using, you need to go in and make sure you download the maps, and you need to, well, for some cases, you need to enable offline use. Just a heads up. So next up, we're going to take a look at how you can turn your old Androids into a security system. It's really interesting, really cool. Just for local, absolutely free. You need two apps. You need TinyCam and IP webcam. This phone right now is using IP webcam, and once I activate it, you can see what is going through this camera from any computer. You just have to put in that IP number at the very bottom. You can see it's like 192.168. Whatever. Anyways, if I go to that location on this computer, blam, just like that, I can see what's coming out of that camera. Excuse me. Anyways, if I get TinyCam, it can pull all of these streams together. In this case, I have four different cameras being used at the moment in different parts of my house. And as long as these systems are good, they usually hang out pretty well. They usually last pretty long. You just have to set them up properly, and you set them up as generic and Android camera, I believe. Where is it here? IP webcam, sorry, IP webcam or Android. Set it up to generic, and away you go. All good stuff. Anyways, this is just to give you the idea and the topical overall how to do it. But if you want more intricate information, just search how to set up security camera with Android. There's all kinds of great step by steps. And remember, and sometimes your units won't be all that good. They'll be outside of range and they'll flicker on and off. Some of the units have a hard time staying up and on, but it works generally. And anyways, here we have an MHL cable. These things can be great if you know what you're doing. You plug in your Android, or your Android comes through the TV through an HDMI. But if you're going to get one of these, make sure you get one that is guaranteed to work with your brand of phone, because not all of them work with all phones, unfortunately. But if you get it to work, it's awesome, and then you don't need a Chromecast or anything else to beam to the TV. You can just use that, and I'm pretty sure it charges at the same time. Good stuff if you can get it to work. Next up, we have AutoGuard. AutoGuard is a great way that you can record what's going on the road, with recording it and with recording the GPS location. So as you go through life, through driving, it will show you exactly where you are on the road at any given time, and then show you the video and GPS simultaneously of what's going on. So if you get into an accident, this is going to protect you very nicely from the evil insurance people, or the good insurance people, depending on how good of driver you are, I suppose. But I was really impressed with this. The free version is good. Paid version is also good. It's more gooder. And oh, this one, Earth Cam. I love me some Earth Cam. It's one of those great things that you can have around your desk at work. If you have one of those soul-killing jobs, you're working at a factory, or you're working at a horrible place at a desk, and you don't like it, you can have this fake camera to the outside world, this fake window to the outside world, and think, even though it's 3 o'clock where I am, it's like 5 o'clock there where my boat is, or something like that, and just get that escapism. I can break free. I want to break free, Freddie Mercury. And it's great to have like a fake window basically to see what's going on. One thing I like to hook my mom up with is a Scanner Radio Pro. That's right, since she's in a particular area that places like to send interesting people to. These interesting people have a lot of run-ins with the law, and with these apps, my mother can figure out just what's going on and why the neighbor around the corner has a police car pushed all the way up to the door of the building. You know something's going on there. Anyways, so if you ever use these things, just keep your mouth shut. Apparently, in some places, it's illegal to talk about what you see, and it definitely harms work in progress. Things like the Boston bomber, I think it was. Anyways, all kinds of people are listening to the radio signals, and the police can't get private information through because everyone's posting what they hear online, and you know they're under that. Anyways, let's take a look at some newer things. We all have old phones that we don't do a whole lot with, and they all got cases. Most of us got cases for these kinds of phones. Now, why buy a GoPro when you can just tape one of these things to your hat? Seriously, look at how sexy this guy is. He must be really smart too. I bet his mom is super proud of him. Anyways, with a little bit of help and a little bit of elbow grease, just like that, we got a GoPro. So, with a third thumbs up, we are out the door and off for adventures. This is what ladies like, men that get out into bear country with their bike and make everyone dizzy with the videos they get on their helmets. Now, the great thing about using a GoPro or one of these cameras is that if you break it, nobody cares for the most part. For the most part. Anyways, this is what the ladies like. A little bit of adventure, and look at how high that hill is. I have no idea what I can see or what I'm looking at, just like the use of a GoPro. And we look how awesome I am. And it'll simultaneously just sploosh out in millions of directions because I am so sexy. Anyways, the next thing I was going to do is use one of these Sony housings to see what's going on in under the river. And I was just gonna throw a phone in there. I was gonna throw a tripod in there, Tripod won't fit, even though that thing's freaking huge. So I was worried about making this thing lighter because it's so freaking heavy. I get to the river and I find out that it's so light it floats on the water, and I don't want that. But check out this. Look, I can put a phone in there, blam, just like that, and it'll fit. Little bit of duct tape, no problem. Those minnows won't know it hit them. So here we are at the lake that has turned into a pond because reasons. Here are those minnows that I'm going to be going after anytime now. Anyways, this is me falling into the river with my iPhone in my pocket. And of course, it was an older one, a 6S, so it didn't make it. It didn't make it. It wasn't in the water for less than 10 seconds. It didn't make it. And here's the awesome shot that cost me my iPhone. What can I say? Stuff happens. I should have taken my newer phone with me. I didn't take the newer one because I didn't. I thought if I went into the water with it, it too would be destroyed. And it turns out the newer one's waterproof. So FML, eh? Opened her up, dried her out, nothing. She don't work. Got rust in there. That can only be a good thing, right? Christ, FML. Anyways, let's talk about what we shouldn't do with cell phones next. We shouldn't give cell phones to children for multiple reasons. Particularly, we should not give them to children in the bathtub with cell phone hungry mummies, especially if they have the battery in it. But seriously, cell phones aren't for kids, and they can do a lot of messed up stuff like dial 911, cyberbully, or even break your phone. So just don't give your stuff to kids. Don't do it. Now, having a kid with a cell phone is like having a kid with a permanent marker. Just watch them. You got to make sure you watch them though. You have to watch them because you don't know what kind of stuff they're going to be getting into. Watch your children, people. That's just how she goes. Anyways, I want to have an honorable mention to phone farmers. That's right. There are people out there farming phones, using phones for multiple things to get Bitcoin, to mine Monero, to watch advertisements, to get money, to subscribe to things, all kinds of things. It's really interesting to watch these guys go. Different people have different games and multiple ways of doing it, but actually, I've seen some people actually make some money with this. I have actually made like $10 just to see if it could be done. It can be done, but man, how much must it cost to get those tablets? It might just be make more money selling those tablets, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. Always appreciated. Do not take your iPhone 6 fishing. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Have a good one. Take care of